creator called Mars, and this video is titled "Be the Michael Jackson of Your Family." I have no idea what this is about. All I know is I love me some Michael Jackson. Whatever you may think about him, you can't deny that he is definitely one of the most important people pretty much ever we've had in entertainment. We gotta keep it real. I'll talk more about that later on in the video. I don't know what this video is about. I have no idea. I just seen Michael Jackson and I was like, ow!
You need to become the Michael Jackson of your family. I personally believe every single family has a cycle breaker, whether it's the oldest or the youngest, but you need to become the Michael Jackson.
Okay, there it is. Look, I can end it right there because I already know where she's going to be going. You need to basically be the generational talent. Be the person that breaks the cycle. I mean, that's basically what she said. You have to do stuff that your family probably never thought anybody that they would be related to would do. I do 100% believe that, you know. I'll get into more of my story later, but let's go ahead. Let's hear the lady out. Let's see what she got to say. Mars. There's another creator called Mars that I used to look at. She plays video games. Shout out to her too.
Cycle breaker. Everyone has a person that goes against the belief system of the household, whether you were raised in a dysfunctional household like I was. I believe God did not give you space and did not bring you into earth for no reason. There is something for you to alchemize. There is an aspect of polarity that you came from that you need to alchemize and make your life experience serve you. If it doesn't serve you, then you're going to be in that opposite aspect of reality that doesn't serve you. A lot of people get trapped in the way they were brought up, the way they were raised. They think this is how they have to be for the rest of their life until they die. No, you can change. That is the point of life. Life is not a fixated state. You can change it. It's not a life sentence, it's a phase. A lot of people take their life for what it is, face value, and say, yeah, this is my life, like I'm out.
This kind of goes back off of, just a little bit, off of the video I did yesterday reacting to The Way of Cam, that channel. Basically, we were talking about how you need to be delusional and be different to make it in the world that we live in, and that pretty much is the case. What she's talking about, you have to do things that are unconventional. If you're conventional, you're gonna live probably not a good life. Maybe, and I said that I said all this in the video yesterday. I think it's called Delusional People Win. I think that's what I called it. I can't remember. Do what you need to do to make it for you and your family. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you what to do. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you to go and crash out or to go and start hurting people, right? Being dishonest and being a POS. But I think that the society we live in now doesn't really punish people who are like that. And you can honestly argue we probably has never punished people who are like that. Kind of messed up, but I mean,
actually crazy. Like, I can't conceptualize it. Like, it's actually insane. Fear of being seen, fear of being perceived. Like, all of these inner resistance, what would people think? Everything about, there is so much fear. And I believe behind that fear, there is freedom. You know? Double Fs. So it's so important to understand that. I'm speaking to all of my people who grew up in a dysfunctional household, a unfavored life and a unfavored circumstance. Like, I have family members, I have cousins who literally have, like, no father figure. They have to do the most, have to work.
I think that, and yeah, I have cousins like that too. But I think that that's something that's also very, I'm not gonna say needed, but is very overlooked when we think about people who grew up to be successful. I'm definitely not trying to say that you need to grow up in a dysfunctional household where you were being abused mentally and or physically to make it in whatever you're trying to do. But I think that can breed some of the most, I'd say, strongest and most influential people, because you've gone through, as a child nonetheless, you've gone through some of the hardest stuff anybody can go through, right? As a kid, who wants to live a trash life as a kid, right? But see, when you grow up in a household that has your mom in it, your dad in it, you were loving, everybody loved you, everybody was honest, everybody sat down and ate dinner together, you talk about, your feelings, this, that, and the third. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think that's honestly a good, phenomenal family dynamic, but that's also comfortable, right? There's no reason to want to leave that, I grew up that same way, you know what I mean? So now I see how hard it is for me to do what I'm doing now. Hence the movies, the comics, and doing this content creation. it's so hard because I grew up in comfortability. I grew up basically just good. I didn't really have to want for nothing. You know, I mean, there weren't times where I went hungry. There weren't times where, you know, I mean, I would get little action figures and video games whenever I wanted. And I have people in my family and I have friends who grew up not like that. And when I come to them with what I'm doing now, it's just like, bro, you got all this shit. You got all this stuff you can do outside of what you're doing now. Why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? And I honestly, it's like, I don't look at it as them questioning me and being like, bro, what you doing? Like trying to tell me, trying to dictate what I'm doing. But I mean, I just look at it as, you know, they're curious. You know, why my parents own businesses? I mean, you know, they're hardworking people. They're still young enough to be able to go out and take care of themselves and to still work. You know what I'm saying? But they have like that old soul. You know what I mean? Like I said, I grew up. I didn't really have to want for nothing. You know, my grandmama, she lived with us. It would get boring at times, you know, because I'm only child. But I mean, you know, it wasn't outside of the boringness. You know, grandmama would cook for me, you know, like I said, I've never went hungry. So I mean, it's just like, why would I want to go out my way to do shit that's hard? You know, but I mean, that's just me, bro. That's just me. You know, it's like, why would I want to go out my way talking about I want to make movies? And nowadays, when it's harder than ever, it's easier than ever to make a movie, but it is harder than ever to get people to care about that movie. You know what I mean? It is harder than ever to get that movie out there. You can make it, but once you make it, what you gonna do with it? You know, like, are you gonna go the traditional route? Are you gonna go YouTube? What are you gonna do? So, and then, you know, comics and content creation, all that. You know, why am I going this route when I have all of this other stuff that my parents basically have lined up that I can do? I don't know. It's just what I want to do.
It's like how people start business. Everyone starts a business very different, but the outcome is the same. It's the money that you get. So how someone makes $10,000 compared to someone else, whatever vehicle they use to get there is nothing but a vehicle. But the outcome is still the same. It's the same money. The money is not saying I'm a different identity, I'm a different version of currency, I'm different because this person.
Basically what I was saying, if you go out your way to make a living for you and your family, I mean, like I said, as long as you weren't a complete asshole about it, I mean, it is what it is. People say it's a cold world. Why are you going to sit back and complain about it when the only way to make it is to live in the cold world and to play by its rules? I'm not going to bend back and bend over. Battery died, but we good now. Let's go.
You have to do to go after your dreams, go after your goals, go after your inspiration, whatever that is for you. Do what you have to do. You have to want it as bad as you want to breathe. I feel like there is no other way. And something that I related with Michael Jackson was the discipline aspect of his early life when he was getting disciplined by his dad. And I experienced something like that, and it made me realize for the longest, which I didn't even put two and two together, is a lot of us don't want to be a victim so bad that we don't take into consideration of how we were so intensely programmed from such an early age that we don't even put two and two together on why our life might be stagnant, why we're not moving forward, whatever the case is. So for me, for the longest time, like ever since I started school or whatever, I hated work, I hated being told what to do, I hated the authority. I just wanted to like do work, but like I just didn't like being told what to do. And I just, you know what I'm trying to say, and my comfort zone was always like watching YouTube videos, being on my phone. That was my comfort zone. And for the longest, I would try to discipline myself, and I would tell myself like do routines, and like I couldn't follow basic things because I don't know what was wrong with me for the longest. Like I wouldn't keep a routine for more than a week, if I'm being so honest. I know it's embarrassing to say, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Well, I do think that's interesting how she said that she grew up kind of like in the same way Michael Jackson did, being disciplined by his dad. And I think, I haven't seen the movie, right? Just because I don't, they're talking about the movie that came out this year in 2026. I'm not going to talk about that. But I do know, since I am a huge fan of Michael Jackson, that he was beaten by his dad back then during like the Jackson 5 days. And a lot of people try to say like that's kind of what bred him into being such a perfectionist and so good at what he did at music, because he had that discipline, right? And so I also think that this just shows you how crazy, how insane he was and amazing he was. Yes, I'm about to glaze the hell out of him right now. When somebody is treated that way at a young age, a lot of the time they kind of internalize it and think like, okay, well, I'm never going to get good. I'm never going to be good. So, I mean, it's going to always be like a loop of trying to be perfect, but that perfect will never exist, because no matter what they did back then, they would get disciplined. They would get disciplined by their guardian, right? Somebody who was just supposed to teach him and who was supposed to be there for him. So it's just so crazy to me how, you know, he still turned out so great at what he did, given the fact of how honestly kind of messed up his childhood was. Because I mean, honestly, he had a camera in his face when he was like, what? I forgot how old he was. When they like first actually, when the Jackson 5 actually, you know what I mean, first started. But basically pretty much his whole life he was just in the public eye, you know. And back then it wasn't no social media. It was like Soul Train, and I think that was it, you know, Soul Train, and you know, like the award shows of the 70s and early 80s. So I mean, you know, it was just like that was the tippity top. It wasn't like, you know, little sub niche communities on YouTube or TikTok or none of that, you know. Like it was, you were either in the spotlight or you weren't, and that was what his life consisted of. And so for him to have made it so far and what he did, that's why I'm just such a fan of.
Like 6 or 7, I used to wake up around like 4 or 5 a.m. every single morning. I would do my homework, he would give me extra homework. This video would just make up random homeworks for me to do, and every single day I would do that. And it was very much military style discipline, and I would do that. Keep in mind, I did really well in school, I got really good grades, and that motion became a thing, you know what I'm trying to say? And sometimes the same thing that you need to give you success to be the vehicle that gets you from A to B, you might have an association, you might have a subconscious association.
Exactly what I just said. Over disciplinary figure that did too much. You're doing too much. She said her dad would make up homework. Like, nigga, what? Like, what? That don't even make no damn. Like, what? People who grew up like Michael Jackson that still turned out to be amazing. Those people are just one of a kind. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and say, yes, this video turned into a glaze of Michael Jackson, but it's Michael Jackson. I don't care. But I mean, basically, it's just like, when you have such a messed up childhood where everything you did as a kid wasn't good enough, which is like some of the worst things you can, one of the worst things you can do to a kid, mentally and psychologically, because it's just like they're growing up. They want to know, like, I mean, they want that attention. They need that attention. They need to know that what they do when they do good, it's rewarded. It's only when they don't do good, they need to be disciplined. Not always be disciplined. Not when you're making straight A's in school, you make new homework, you make up shit just so they can go do. Like, nigga, what? Like, what you wanted to turn into a fucking Terminator? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's she gonna do? You wanted to be Iron Man out this motherfucker? Like Tony Stark? Like, how perfect do you want your kid to be? You know what I'm saying? I never understood that, bro. I never understood that. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to her. That video, it's a little longer, about 20 minutes. I'll leave the link to it down in the description. It's really basically kind of like what I thought it was going to be, though. Do what you want to do. All right, so let me just get this straight before I say what I'm about to say. I am not trying to sit here and compare myself to Michael Jackson. I know the thumbnail said otherwise, but that's just a thumbnail. I gotta get you to click on the video, my nigga, okay? It's love. It's love at the end of the day. But I really do take a lot of what Michael Jackson is and what he represented to heart, you know. I already know there's going to be some people out there that are going to question that shit if you believe a lot of the stuff that he was accused of and never convicted. But honestly, bro, I don't care. I don't care. I'll never forget growing up until when he died. I didn't really know. I knew him. Like, I knew the name Michael Jackson, but I didn't know like really what he was. It wasn't until his funeral, the day of his funeral. Where was it? Day of his funeral? What? Yeah, actually, it was the day of his funeral, or whatever. Yeah, it was. It was the day of his funeral. When they had the like the day long, they had just like a day. If you're old enough to remember, it was a 24-hour like live stream and overview of his life, all his music, what he did for the world. Like, I mean, it was just amazing. What was I? That was in 2009. So when he died, it was like a week before my birthday. Honestly, I think he died. Wasn't it June 23rd when he died? Wasn't it June 23rd when he died? Was it June 23rd? I hope that's not backwards. Was it June 23rd when he died? I can't remember. Michael Jackson died June 25th, 2009. We're coming up on 20 years in like the next couple years, bro. since Michael Jackson died, the day Michael Jackson died. And I'll never forget, during the day of his funeral, they had like that 24-hour long documentary and just like live stream of his life and everything that he did for the world with his music. And it was just so, that shit was so amazing, man. It was just like so, I was so fixated on just everything from how his music just brought people together and all the people that would go crazy over me. I mean, y'all know the TikToks when the nigga stood up. When you have the kids say aura now. When you have the aura to just stand on a stage, look over there, and you have the hose falling out like how my phone just did. You have the hose doing like how my phone just did. When the nigga was standing like this, hose was falling out. The women were falling out crying. But it's not really just about the fame, bro. It's really just about what he went through. I mean, when you just look at a lot of the interviews and a lot of his behind the scenes to when he was making a lot of his songs and his albums, and it was just like he was so real, and you wouldn't even think, like, I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like you wouldn't think the way that he would act a lot of the times, his music would be so amazing. He was also a big advocate on films and integrating films and music kind of into one, specifically short films, which is something that I very much do want to try to do one day. I love music, but y'all know I do make films because I love films even more, just as much, if not more, than music. So I look at a lot of the things that he did with like Smooth Criminal and Billie Jean, and You Rock My World, one of my favorite songs of all time. Remember the Time. I just look at a lot of his music videos and how he Thriller, a lot of how he took a storyline and integrated it into music, and that really wasn't something that was being done as much. It was being done, but it wasn't being done as much when he first started doing it, you know what I mean? And really even now, I feel like it's just so, people are so transfixed on the short form, you can't really like get into basically mini movies for your music for your songs no more. And I know a lot of artists just kind of bend over and just, it's like, well, I mean, it's TikTok nowadays, so you know what I'm saying? But I mean, bro, who cares? Who cares? I mean, we all see short form content is starting to get like very oversaturated. I mean, you can pump out, first of all, AI is a thing now, but I mean, you can just pump out such random stuff that doesn't even have nothing to do with your music and get like thousands of fans in just a couple hours, right? Meanwhile, you got a song that you're still trying to promote behind the content. It's just like, what the fuck? But I'm getting off topic. I really do look up to Michael Jackson. Outside of my parents, who are my world, I really do think Michael Jackson is my biggest inspiration, because it's just, he really embodied what I think it was to be a true creator and to love your art. I mean, when he called out Sony for, all the shady shit that they were doing, him, Prince, shout out to Prince, those two, were like some of the pioneers, and how big both of them were. They were the pioneers of letting people know, like, look, you gotta own your rights. You gotta be somebody who, if you want to be creative, you can't let these corporations get a hold of your shit. Him specifically, it was just so amazing just to see everything that he went through in his life and growing up and learning about him. And shout out to Michael Jackson. Look at this nigga, bro. He popped up out the ground and look, he ain't doing shit. He's doing nothing. Look at this nigga, bro. He's doing nothing. He's standing there with some colorful drawers on. This woman over here crying. Like, look. I swear to God, bro.